Hey there, my name is Salandrak and welcome back to my Terraria version 1.4 Journey's End Beginner's Guide series. We've destroyed the destroyer and tackled the twins, so now it's time to finish off the mechanical bosses by skillfully punishing Skeletron Prime. As with all my boss guide videos, I'll cover spawning the boss, fight mechanics, arena preparation, loot, and strategies and gear loadouts for all classes and difficulty levels. Timestamps are down in the description, and let me know down in the comments if you have any preferred strategies or loadouts that I didn't cover. Now let's get to it! As noted in the Twins video, mechanical boss spawning mechanics were covered in detail in the Destroyer video, so I'll keep it brief here. But in short, Skeletron Prime can randomly attack you in any hard mode world after at least one evil altar has been smashed, and the message you'll see at the bottom of the screen on a night where it's going to attack is, the air is getting colder around you. The boss can also be spawned manually using a mechanical skull at night. This item is a rare drop from almost any monster in hard mode if the boss hasn't been defeated yet, and can also be crafted using your hard mode anvil, along with 30 bones that drop from skeletons, 5 iron or lead bars, 3 souls of light, and 3 souls of night. As for the boss, Skeletron Prime is a lot like Skeletron, except it has 4 arms instead of 2, and they each have a different weapon attached that will attack you until they are individually destroyed or the boss is defeated. On the top left side, we've got the Prime Laser that will periodically shoot lasers at you, generally increasing its rate of fire when the head is spinning, but will otherwise try to keep its distance from you. Below it is the Prime Saw, which will try to hit you for contact damage, periodically swinging quickly through your position. On the right side, the top hand is the Prime Cannon that will usually stay up near the head, firing exploding bombs up and slightly back to the left, not targeting the player, but sometimes it will try to move right next to you and fire bombs more rapidly. These bombs will collide with platforms though, so having multiple layers of platforms in your arena will make the bombs pretty trivial. Below the bomber hand is the Prime Vice that, like the Saw, will also try to hit you for contact damage, periodically swinging or lunging at your location. It is generally more aggressive than the Saw, especially if you are to the right of the head when it is spinning. If you're using a weapon that allows you to focus your damage output, it is generally best to focus on the Prime Laser first if you're to the left of the boss, or the Prime Vice if you're to the right of the boss, as these two are generally the most dangerous or otherwise annoying. Note that the health of the arms is separate and independent from the head, so destroying them won't reduce the health of the actual boss, and you could kill the boss targeting only the head, ignoring the arms if you really want to. That said, the fight as a whole gets a lot easier when there are less arms, especially on Expert and Master mode. I generally like to get the laser out of the way whenever I've got a clear shot on it, but otherwise tend to focus on the head if I can and any nearby hand if the head isn't around. As for the head, in its normal form it will try to hover up above you, but every 10 seconds it will grow spikes and start spinning around while moving towards you. On classic difficulty, it's really slow and easy to avoid when it is spinning, but its defenses and contact damage do get doubled on all difficulty levels, so be sure to keep your distance. The head will not get any new attacks once all of its limbs are defeated, so once the arms are down, the head is super easy to finish off. On Expert and Master mode, the fight is more or less the exact same, with the biggest difference being that the head moves much faster when it spins, and will move even faster if it is far away from you. If you're moving at top speed with speed boots on normal ground, it will remain a few steps behind you, but if running at top speed on asphalt, you will be able to outrun it slightly. Flying or falling diagonally is also a great way to keep your distance from the spinning head. Additionally, on Expert and Master mode, the boss and each of its limbs will have increased health and deal increased damage. If the boss is not defeated by the time morning arrives at 4:30, then it will enrage, will permanently spin, move faster, gain an absurd amount of defense, and kill you in one hit. Pro tip, do not start the fight late at night or anywhere close to morning. Note that if you do manage to get far enough away from the boss, then it will despawn. In terms of fighting arena, on classic difficulty, your regular fighting arena should do just fine, and you'll generally want to position yourself vertically in the middle of the arena so that the higher platforms will negate most if not all of the bombs. Keep moving to dodge the lasers and lunging saw and vice attacks, and focus your DPS on whatever hand you feel is giving you the most trouble, or just focus on the head, damaging the hands whenever they get in the way. Weapons that hit multiple targets, have piercing, or do big area damage work great in this fight, as they will enable you to damage multiple limbs and the head all at the same time. On Expert and Master mode, I recommend using an Asphalt Runway just like we did for the twins, as it will allow you to control your distance from the boss whether it's spinning or not. I like to lead the boss upwards at either end of the runway, as it makes it easy to dash underneath it when it is about to or even has already started to spin, and then keep my distance just out of reach of the head and any attacking arms. Be sure to fly up and down to dodge any incoming attacks such as lasers, as well as regular monsters that might be on the runway. And if you reach the end of your runway when the head is still spinning, just fly up and back the other way, using your Shield of Cthulhu to stay out of harm's way. As always, make sure you have full arena buffs throughout your fighting arena, strategically place honey baths, and use any consumable buffs as you have available. Now is a good time to talk about a couple of changes that will happen to your world once all 3 of the mechanical bosses have been defeated. For starters, you'll get a message at the bottom of the screen indicating that the jungle grows restless, which means that bulbs for the next boss, Plantera, will start growing at random locations throughout the underground jungle. Additionally, Reapers will begin spawning during solar eclipses, and the Traveling Merchant will now have a chance to sell the Pulse Bow. Also, I forgot to mention in the Destroyer video that there are several changes that happen in your world when your first mechanical boss is defeated, so let's go over them now really quickly. For starters, the Steampunker NPC will arrive and will sell the Clintaminator and various solutions depending on certain factors. If she's in the hollow, she will sell blue solution that, when sprayed with the Clintaminator, will convert the area to hollow. Whenever there's a blood moon or solar eclipse, she will sell purple solution in a corruption world or red solution in a crimson world, and each of these will spread that respective evil biome when sprayed. But if she isn't in the hollow and there isn't a blood moon or solar eclipse, she'll sell green solution, which is your general purpose cleaner that will restore hollow and evil biomes back to their default regular state. She also sells a variety of vanity items and potentially the jetpack based on the moon cycle, and can sell several different furniture and block crafting stations. Check the wiki to see how to manipulate her inventory. In terms of happiness and to get the best discount on the Clintaminator and solution, she likes living in the desert and likes the painter, so pair those up if you want to get a good deal on this pretty expensive item. Other changes that occur once your first mechanical boss has been defeated include the Truffle NPC selling the Mushroom Spear and the Hamush, solar eclipses can start to occur, and the underworld will start spawning red devils and lava bats. The Yellet's Yo-Yo can start dropping in the jungle, and the jungle's moss hornets and moths will add tattered bee wings and butterfly dust to their respective drop pools, both of which can be used to make some good wings. The jungle will also start growing life fruit, which can be consumed to further increase your maximum life. The Traveling Merchant will have a chance to sell the Code 2 Yo-Yo, the Dye Trader will start giving you fancy dyes when you give him a strange plant, and the Old One's Army event, which I'll cover in a separate video at some point, will move on to its next level where the Ogre is the final boss of the event. Similarly, the Tavern Keep will start selling a new tier of items related to the Old One's Army. As for loot you get from Skeletron Prime, just like the other mechanical bosses, it always drops a decent amount of gold, 5 to 15 greater healing potions, and a stack of hollowed bars. The soul it drops is the Soul of Fright, and it has a 10% chance to drop its trophy and about a 14% chance to drop the Skeletron Prime Vanity Mask. Expert and Master Mode loot bags always contain the mechanical battery piece that, if you've already downed the other 2 mechanical bosses, can now be combined with the mechanical wheel and mechanical wagon to make the minecart upgrade kit. On Master Mode, you've got a 25% chance to get the robotic skull, which summons a mini Prime vanity pet, and you'll always get the Skeletron Prime relic. The Souls of Fright can be used to craft the flamethrower using 20 iron or lead bars and illegal gun parts sold by the arms dealer. This is a powerful ranged weapon that uses gel as ammunition, pierces up to 3 targets, and inflicts a 20-second Hellfire debuff on enemies. If you like the Ranger playstyle, I highly recommend that you try it out. That's the only new weapon you can craft using just Souls of Fright, but if you've now defeated all 3 mechanical bosses, you'll be able to make a pickaxe upgrade, the Pickaxe Axe or the Drax, which will allow you to mine chlorophyte ore in the jungle. You'll also be able to use the trifecta of mechanical boss souls to make the Avenger Emblem accessory that boosts all damage types by 12%. This is weaker than your class emblem, but it stacks with your class emblem if you want to wear both at the same time. The Avenger Emblem can also be combined with the Power Glove to make the Mechanical Glove, and with the Celestial Magnet to make the Celestial Emblem. So if you're playing melee or magic, you might as well make these upgrades, but will otherwise want to save an Avenger emblem for an upgrade that becomes available after you've defeated the golem. And last but certainly not least, you can combine 20 of each of the mechanical boss souls with your pre-hard mode Knight's Edge to make its upgrade the true Knight's Edge. This is a powerful melee weapon that shoots out a circular swirling projectile and is great to use on all classes to keep enemies away from you with its 360-degree attack around you. Time to talk about gear recommendations. All classes will want to use hollowed armor if they've already downed other mechanical bosses, and if not, then your best top tier hard mode armor sets such as adamantite, titanium, or the hybrid sets of frost armor or forbidden armor will all work just fine. In order to maximize your ability to dodge attacks and stay away from the spinning head, on all difficulties you'll want a good pair of wings and your best speed boots, as well as knockback immunity with the Cobalt Shield or its upgrades, the Obsidian Shield or the Ankh Shield. This is especially crucial when the head spins, as getting hit by anything when you're trying to get away from it might cause you to get blenderized, especially on Expert and Master mode. Beyond that, you'll want to use the class emblem of your preferred damage type, or whatever additional accessories suit your class and playstyle. On Expert and Master mode, be sure to equip your Shield of Cthulhu, as its dash ability really comes in handy, especially to get away from the much faster spinning head, or when you need to change directions quickly. As compared to the twins, melee characters have a few more good options for fighting Skeletron Prime, especially on classic difficulty, though you'll still want to use something that lets you hit targets that are at least a little ways away from you. Along with the yo-yo bag, you can use any good yo-yo for this level of the game, including the Amarok from the snow biome, the Yellets from the jungle if another mech boss has already been defeated, or the Hellfire from the underworld to name a few. The chained guillotines from Corrupt Mimics in Corruption Worlds works decently well, and if you really want to, you could probably get away with using a good spear on classic difficulty. On Expert or Master mode though, you'll definitely want better range, and the Shadow Flame knife that was highly effective on both the Destroyer and the twins remains an excellent option, as does the light discs if you've already downed the Destroyer, or the Banana Ring if you've managed to get one from the clowns of the hard mode Blood Moon. And of these three, I think I like the Banana Ring the best. Not unexpectedly, Rangers have plenty of good options for downing Skeletron Prime, whether you prefer bows, guns, or darts. On the bow side, the Daedalus Stormbow with Holy Arrows works really well on all difficulties, but if you prefer to surgically dismantle your enemies, a good repeater with Holy or Ichor Arrows is also quite effective. On classic difficulty, you can use pretty much any gun or dart rifle with just about any ammunition and do just fine, but on Expert or Master mode, my top picks for guns is the Mega Shark with crystal bullets, and if you don't have the Mega Shark, then the Onyx Blaster also works decently well. I generally wouldn't go with darts on Master mode, but on Classic or Expert, either the dart gun or the dart rifle is also pretty decent, and you'll want to go with crystal darts when there's more than just the head, thanks to their tendency to bounce around between targets. Once the arms are down though, you'd be better off with something else. Just remember to customize your accessories for your weapons of choice, using a magic quiver or its upgrades if using arrows, and if using guns or darts, then a shark tooth necklace or its upgrades is a pretty good option. Mages like Rangers can use just about anything to take care of Skeletron Prime, especially on classic difficulty. Like, literally any hard mode weapon can be used to defeat this boss. On Expert and Master mode though, my top picks are the Crystal Serpent from Fishing in the Hollow, the Crystal Storm, which is a crafted spellbook, and the Spirit Flame, which is crafted from 2 forbidden fragments that you get from sand elementals during desert sandstorms, 12 Souls of Night, and a desert spirit lamp you get from desert spirits in the corrupted or crimson underground desert. Of those 3, the Spirit Flame is actually my favorite for both Expert and Master mode difficulties. Whatever weapon you end up using, be sure to stock up on lots of greater healing potions, or even upgrade them to super mana potions. And to help chug them automatically, you'll definitely want a Mana Flower accessory or any of its upgrades, the Magnet Flower, the Mana Cloak, or the Arcane Flower. As with the other mechanical bosses, summoners don't have a lot of options for gear at this stage of the game, but they still manage to do surprisingly well against Skeletron Prime. On classic difficulty, the Forbidden Armor's Ancient Storm ability is quite effective against the boss, especially if you can keep it up above you. For whips, any good hard mode whip will do just fine, and if you've already defeated any mechanical bosses, the Durandal paired with the Cool Whip is your best bet on all difficulties. For minions, your best bets are either the Blade Staff from Queen Slime, the Sanguine Staff from the Dread Nautilus of Blood Moon fishing fame, or the Optic Staff if you've already defeated the twins. All 3 of these options seem to work comparably well. For accessories, I tend to prefer the Power Glove for its boost to whip DPS, but you could also go with the Pygmy Necklace for an additional minion. Try to stay close enough to the head for your whips to hit, and maybe focus fire problematic arms, and you'll dismantle the boss, no problem. And that's it for the trio of mechanical bosses. Overall, Skeletron Prime can be a pretty fun fight, especially if you get good at timing its spin attacks and dodging its flailing limbs. The next major boss we'll tackle is Plantera over in the jungle, but before we do that, I'll be covering Queen Slime, Blood Moons, and likely do a house building guide. Let me know down in the comments if there is a specific pylon village that you've seen in my videos that you would like a tutorial for, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!